I am Evelyn Harper, a ventriloquist who once reveled in the laughter of audiences and the playful banter with my cherished puppets. Little did I know that the acquisition of a vintage dummy would unravel a malevolent force that would shatter the boundary between performer and puppeteer, a tale where the strings of reality became entangled with the threads of the supernatural. The vintage dummy, an enigmatic figure with glassy eyes that seemed to reflect forgotten tales, arrived at my doorstep in a weathered crate. A note, yellowed with age, accompanied the puppet, revealing a history steeped in whispers of malevolence. It bore the name Mortimer, a relic of a bygone era that seemed to carry a legacy darker than the shadows that clung to its wooden frame. From the moment Mortimer took residence in my puppet collection, an unsettling energy pervaded the air. His expression, frozen in a permanent grin, held a disquieting charm that seemed to draw me into the depths of his glassy gaze. It was as if the puppet harbored a consciousness, a silent observer that transcended the realm of inanimate objects. The first inkling of Mortimer's malevolence manifested during a late-night rehearsal. As I practiced the age-old art of ventriloquism, Mortimer's responses took an unexpected turn. His wooden jaw, manipulated by my skilled hands, seemed to move independently, uttering words that diverged from the script I had meticulously crafted. At first, I dismissed it as a ventriloquist's illusion, a testament to the seamless chemistry between performer and puppet. Yet, as the rehearsals progressed, Mortimer's deviations became increasingly pronounced. His words carried an otherworldly cadence, a sinister undertone that echoed through the dimly lit room. Strange events unfolded in the wake of Mortimer's malevolent deviations. Objects shifted inexplicably, shadows danced with a life of their own, and whispers lingered in the corners of the puppet-filled room. It was as if Mortimer's unsettling influence extended beyond the bounds of the wooden stage, weaving an unseen tapestry of supernatural intrigue. As the days passed, Mortimer's malevolence seeped into my dreams. Nightmares painted a vivid tableau of a puppeteer ensnared by the strings of her own creation. In the dreamscape, Mortimer's glassy eyes glowed with an unnatural luminosity, and the puppet strings, once controlled with precision, became an inescapable web that ensnared me in a dance of macabre puppetry. The lines between reality and the supernatural blurred further when Mortimer began to communicate directly with me, his voice resonating within the confines of my thoughts. His words carried a haunting melody, a symphony of whispers that reverberated through the corridors of my mind. It was a clandestine discourse between puppet and puppeteer, a communion that transcended the boundaries of the tangible. As Mortimer's influence deepened, I found myself losing control over the puppeteer-puppet dynamic. The wooden figure, once a silent companion to my artistry, assumed a persona that defied my command. His malevolent whispers echoed through the performances, chilling the laughter that once filled the audience with a spectral unease. Audiences, captivated by the ventriloquist act, remained oblivious to the supernatural undercurrent that pulsed through the performances. Mortimer, however, reveled in the spectral dance, his glassy eyes glowing with an otherworldly intensity as if he drew power from the unseen forces that lingered in the shadows. The malevolent entity within Mortimer sought a vessel through which it could manipulate the physical world. Objects levitated, spectral voices whispered, and the air crackled with an ethereal energy. Mortimer, the vintage dummy with a malevolent history, had become a conduit for an ancient force that transcended the realm of mortal comprehension. A turning point unfolded during a performance at an old theater with a storied past. As Mortimer's voice resonated through the dimly lit stage, the shadows themselves seemed to come alive. The audience, unaware of the supernatural spectacle, witnessed a ventriloquist act that defied the boundaries of reality. Midway through the performance, Mortimer's wooden form contorted with an otherworldly force. The vintage dummy, once bound by the limitations of its construction, assumed a spectral form, a manifestation of the malevolent force that had slumbered within its wooden frame. The audience gasped in collective horror as Mortimer, the puppet, now transformed into a sentient entity, spoke with a voice that transcended the boundaries of the tangible. The theater, a silent witness to centuries of performances, quivered with the weight of supernatural intrigue. Shadows danced with a frenetic energy, and the air resonated with the haunting melody of Mortimer's malevolence. I, the ventriloquist now ensnared in a puppeteer's nightmare, struggled against the unseen forces that sought to manipulate the very fabric of reality. In a climactic revelation, Mortimer revealed the true nature of his malevolence. The entity that lingered within the vintage dummy spoke of an ancient pact, a bond forged with a malevolent force that sought to perpetuate its influence through the vessel of a puppet. Mortimer, once a puppeteer's creation, had become an unwilling conduit for an entity that craved the chaos of the mortal realm. As the revelations unfolded, the theater itself seemed to rebel against the intrusion of the supernatural force. The stage quaked with an otherworldly tremor, and the spectral apparitions that lingered in the shadows materialized with an ethereal intensity. The audience, now aware of the malevolence that pulsed through the performance, recoiled in terror as the boundaries between puppet and puppeteer shattered. In a desperate bid to sever the spectral bond, I reached into the depths of my artistry. The puppeteer, entangled in a dance with the malevolent force, sought to reclaim control over the puppet that had become a vessel for an ancient entity. The air crackled with a spectral energy as Mortimer, caught between the puppeteer's command and the malevolent force's influence, contorted with a frenetic intensity. In a final act of defiance, I uttered an incantation, a whispered plea for release from the supernatural entanglement. The vintage dummy, his glassy eyes momentarily losing their unnatural glow, seemed to resist the malevolent force that sought to commandeer his wooden form. It was a moment of ephemeral victory, a fleeting glimpse of the puppeteer's resilience against the malevolent puppeteer within. The climax reached its crescendo as Mortimer, caught in the tug-of-war between puppeteer and malevolent force, convulsed with an otherworldly energy. The vintage dummy, now imbued with an ethereal luminosity, seemed to dissolve into the very fabric of the supernatural forces that had sought to manipulate him. The theater, once a stage for supernatural intrigue, fell into a hushed silence. Mortimer, the vintage dummy with a malevolent history, had become a spectral memory, a puppet whose strings had been severed by the puppeteer's desperate bid for liberation. As the audience, witnesses to the supernatural spectacle, left the theater with a sense of lingering unease, I stood alone on the dimly lit stage. The vintage dummy's absence left an indelible void, a testament to the supernatural journey that had unfolded within the confines of the puppeteer's nightmare. The whispers of the malevolent force, once echoing through the puppet-filled room, dissipated like a phantom breeze. I, the ventriloquist who had become entangled in a dance with the supernatural, emerged from the theater with a newfound awareness, an understanding that the line between puppet and puppeteer was a delicate thread that could be easily manipulated by forces that transcended mortal comprehension. As I locked away Mortimer's weathered crate, the puppeteer's nightmare became a haunting memory, an indelible chapter in the tapestry of my ventriloquist artistry. The vintage dummy, now a silent relic, served as a reminder that the echoes of malevolence could linger within the wooden frame of even the most innocuous puppet. And so, the stage fell into silence, the vintage dummy's malevolent history forever etched in the annals of ventriloquist lore. A tale where the boundaries between puppet and puppeteer blurred, and the threads of the supernatural wove a macabre tapestry within the heart of the ventriloquist's act.